Hi, welcome to Ask Kelly. I'm Kelly and I'll be answering questions submitted for October 2021 in relation to Reiki, spirit team connections, Reiki degrees and chakras. And I'm well aware that all of these different topics have so many different translations, but please just go with what resonates with you. If my answers that I'm giving, they're coming from my own point of view, my own experience, my own perspective, if some of these answers don't resonate with you, then have a look for more stuff online. You know, we're just a click of the finger away. So type to your heart's content again and find what aligns with you. Our first question is, sometimes I feel my team and sometimes I don't when I'm doing Reiki. I still do the Reiki. Are my team there or not when I do not feel them? Is my question. Thank you. Good question. Straight to the point answer. Yes, they're still there, okay? You know how when you hook up in the beginning with your spirit team and you're calling them in and you might feel that connection when you're starting Reiki, when you've been practicing for a while. And then sure, as you're going through your healing, you might not feel them around anymore, but they're there. You've called them in, you have a client on the table, or perhaps you're working on your own energy field, or the cat, or the dog, or the planet, whatever the case may be. Your team is there, and this is what their job is. This is from my point of view, is to help give, well, our Reiki guides coming through, is to help provide healing for the subject that you're working on. So whether you're feeling them there or not, they're there. You've called them, they're there. Another thing is to just keep practicing. And the more you practice, you might end up having a deeper communication with them. Like even just having a talk with them every now and then, because this is your team, you know, these are your mates, your friends, and these, you know, they also consist of people that have passed over, your loved ones, etc. They're there. Perhaps when you don't feel them, you could just communicate with them again in your mind. If you're working on somebody else, just say, hey guys, are you there? Give me a sign and see what happens, see what comes back, and play around with the energy in Reiki, and that comes through with your spirit team as well. Have fun with all of that. I hope that helped. Okay, our next question is, why, even if you've dealt with or accepted a situation from the past, it still lives inside you even when you're okay with it? I feel like you have to repeatedly make it exit your body. It's like it thinks you're its home even after being evicted. Okay, nicely put. And yeah, deep question. Once again, this is just from my point of view. For something like this, something that keeps on hanging around, I believe it's because our mind keeps going back to it. Now, our thoughts are energetic and vibration, and what we think about, we bring about. So feeling emotions attached to that point in time, or whatever this thing was that you went through, helps to relive it over and over again. And sometimes our body holds these emotions or feelings or aches and pains because we haven't dealt with it. All right, and there are so many different ways that people deal with these kinds of events, these kinds of situations, and if it still lives inside of you, maybe there's still a little bit more work that needs to be done to actually release. Sometimes a lot of people do a lot of work on something that's happening in their life, but they're not releasing it. They're not letting it go. It's like, oh my God, this big thing happened to me, and I'll recall that story over and over and over and over again, and that keeps it alive. Okay, this is just my point of view. But there are some things that you can do. If you're in the Reiki Degrees online course, there is a segment in the first degree training called First Degree Notes, and it takes you to have a look at different body parts and what kind of energy they hold. If you're not in the course, you can Google Symptoms List by Louise Hayes. Now that's a really detailed list of different symptoms related to different parts of the body, etc., where energy can be stored as well. So the next time you're feeling that this is hanging around, be aware of where it is being triggered in your body. Okay, and maybe you can have a look at it from that angle instead of like, oh my god, here it is again, I'm never going to bloody get rid of it. Okay, focusing on where the ache is and going in from that side. So Reikiing, if it appears on your left shoulder or whatever, doing some Reiki on there and see what happens there. Also, take note of which side of the body anything appears on when you're going through this again. The left-hand side of the body represents your spiritual journey, your spiritual side. The right-hand side represents your physical journey, okay? And then you could do a Google search for example, if it's your right knee that's hurting, do a search for spiritual meaning of pain in my right knee. Spiritual meaning of pain in my left knee, because the left and the right sides of the body have different meanings. So maybe there could be something that you could have a look into to take it on from a different angle and finally help it dissolve once and for all, I hope. Okay, our next question. If you link up with your team in the morning for Reiki work and thank them when you're finished, is it necessary to link up every time in the day if you were doing more Reiki work later in the day? Yes, okay. When I go to expos or have back-to-back clients, I hook up once. And then when the new person comes in, when the client changeover takes place, I just have a talk to them and say, hey guys, we've got someone else on the table. Thanks for helping with Bob Smith. Now we have Jane Doe next on the table. Can we do some work for her highest will and good? Okay, so it's just really is just communication with your team. Hooking up in the morning and going the whole day after giving thanks. Personally, I'd hook up again, but that's me. For me, it makes that connection feel stronger, fresher, But if you're doing client after client after client, you're working with your team consistently and they're always there. Yeah, okay, I hope that makes sense. And our final question for this month is, will you be doing another Reiki Masters face-to-face class to touch base on symbols and attunement processes? Yes, I'm glad you've asked this question because my master degree classes will be changing, the face-to-face classes. In the past, I used to, when a person went for training for master's degree, I'd take that person through with someone who was doing a first degree class. And the new master would help me train the first degree student. But I'm about to change all that. The master degree class will just fully be master stuff, okay? So you'll cover each of the symbols, Chokure, Seiheki, Honshazi, Jonen, but also Tamarasha, Raku, Daikomyo as well. So we're going into the master symbols. Also the attunement processes. So attunements for doing hands-on in person. Also covering distance attunements and using surrogates that you can work on to be able to send attunements overseas if you're attuning another person somewhere else. So I'm basically taking what I've put into, I've got a Reiki Degrees online course, and all the stuff I've put in there for master training is what I'm now going to be giving face-to-face as well. Okay, and as for when those, it's just started raining, so if the mic's picking up on that, yay, rain, we need it. So as for dates for master degree training, you can set any date that you like. I work 7 days a week. If I'm not available, obviously I'll let you know. But check out kelliflack.com/Reiki courses, and all the information will be in there. Set a date and we'll tee it up that way. Okay. Okay everyone, thank you so much for sending in your questions. This is the very first video of hopefully many more to come, and they'll be held at the end of every month. So if you do have a question for November, just submit them now and I will gather them, and at the end of the month, the last Tuesday of the month, I will create another video just like this one answering your questions and hopefully giving you a little bit more direction, but obviously find what resonates for you. Take care. Much love. Mwah.